Hello YouTube and welcome back to the channel outside the target demographic. Today we're going to be doing a pre-oil change Seafoam ad to the engine oil and fuel of my 2018 Subaru Forester. Let's get started. The idea is we're going to be doing an oil change here within the next 500 miles anyway. So since the oil is already contaminated, we're going to go ahead and do a engine and fuel system cleanse on the Subaru Forester. Basically, we'll be adding some Seafoam to the gas tank and to the crankcase oil, and we'll let it run its course over the next couple hundred miles before we do the oil change. We'll get the most sludge broken down and removed out of the internals of the car with minimal effort on my part, and hopefully preventing any kind of expensive repairs in the near future. We're going to need 4 things to do the Seafoam cleanse. The first one is a full gas tank. The second thing we're going to need is a 20-ounce container of Seafoam. The third thing we're going to need is a 12-ounce can of Seafoam. And the last thing is an empty water bottle. So the idea here is we've already paid for the oil change. We might as well get the best bang for the buck. What Seafoam will do is it works in gas and diesel engines, and it helps clean up any kind of carbon deposits and fouling and whatnot. All of that has to go one of 2 places. One, out the exhaust pipe, and second, into your engine oil, which we're about to change anyway. So this is going to help clean up the internals of the engine and help it run better, get better fuel efficiency, and hopefully be less likely to have any kind of necessary repairs in the near future. So this is going to be a 2-part process. We're going to remove the aerosol for now, and we're going to focus on the liquid Seafoam first. So again, I purchased the 20-ounce container of the liquid Seafoam. The reason behind that is, according to the instructions on the back, we will be adding 1 ounce per 1 gallon of gasoline. So that puts us at 16 ounces. And then we're going to be adding 1 ounce per quart of oil in the crankcase, which is 5 quarts, 4.8 liters. So that gets us to 21 ounces. We're going to be 1 ounce short. So a Seafoam rinse is something I do about once every second or third oil change. What I'm really trying to do is get ahead of the fact that a Subaru direct injection engine has issues with the valves getting some carbon buildup on them. So with the direct injection, what's going to happen is your cylinder will compress the fuel-air ratio, and as it's compressing it to get combustion and give you the power, it's going to use a high pressure fuel injector and inject the fuel directly, direct injection, into the cylinder. This is fantastic to get fuel efficiency and the most out of your engine. Unfortunately, you lose the benefit that you usually gain with port injection of having the gasoline clean the valves on its way being sucked into the engine. So it's there's no free lunch. You always have some kind of trade-off. Typically, with the buildup on the valves, you're going to start running into compression issues and engine noise and stuff like that. That's going to require a teardown or a repair, and that's something that I can hedge off with about $20 worth of Seafoam products. So let's go ahead and start adding the product. This is going to be real simple. By dividing the 20-ounce container into the volume that'll be going into the gas tank, and the volume that will be going into the crankcase. In order to do that, all I need is a container that's about 16 ounces of volume. It'll be something that I can dispose of when I'm done with it and won't be used for food products or a measuring cup of some kind, and it has to be 16 ounces. So, hey, that works out pretty well. We're going to go ahead and fill this guy up to about that ring. I am just shy of a gallon on the way home, so I'm going to be more at 15 ounces. But we're going to go ahead and break this down into what's going into the gas tank and put the remainder into the engine oil. The benefit of using a clear water bottle to measure out your Seafoam is, one, you can see through it and determine how full it is. Second, it's already a funnel shape, which will make adding it to the fuel tank all the easier. And then third, the two mouths are about the same size, so if I overfill or underfill, I can just keep sloshing it back and forth until we get the proper mixture. So I'm going to go ahead and pour this directly into the gas tank, and the remainder will be going into the oil. So here's the first tip of the video. Built into your fuel tank door is a fuel cap lid holder. This will prevent your paint job from getting scratched every time you tank up. The second other tip is, if you are part of a Fuel Perks program, you can just keep the card right there in your fuel door, because the only time you're going to be using it is when you're getting gas. So let's go ahead and unscrew this and add the Seafoam. You can add this before you tank up, and the gas as it goes down the tube will help mix it a little bit. But as you're driving, your fuel capacity is going to be sloshing around. It's going to mix up real nice, and it'll find its way to the engine, I'm sure. Which leaves us with our remaining 4 to 5 ounces of Seafoam to add to the oil. So here's another tip for you. Right behind your driver's side headlight is a spot large enough for a quart of oil. Another tip is, if you cut the top off of a old oil container, it will fit quite nicely on top and look very gaudy, but it also gives you the benefit of a larger target to get the oil where it needs to go. All right, so we're just going to add this directly into, that is the cuckoo clock. Even outside, everyone should own one. So that goes right in, and I find this works pretty well as a funnel, even though it's pretty shallow, because it's the same outer diameter as the inner diameter of your oil fill. So it holds in place pretty nicely. And that's all we got for part 1. Basically, you're just going to drive this for about 300 or 400 miles before your next oil change. Hopefully you'll be doing some highway mileage, which will get the engine running nice and warm and freeing up all those deposits, and then allow it to sit in a parking lot or driveway for a bit, and that will allow the additive to work over time, breaking up some of the stronger deposits that are inside the engine. Again, the carbon buildups and all have 2 places to go. One is out the tailpipe. You may notice a little bit of white or blue smoke blowing. It's nothing to be concerned about. And then we'll be getting the most out of the oil change by getting some of the stuff out of the engine during the oil change. Part 2, we'll be using the aerosol version of the Seafoam, and we're going to be adding that to the throttle body. That will take the air that feeds your engine, and the air does go by the valve, so we'll be cleaning those more directly with the aerosol Seafoam and letting this oil and fuel mixture work its way passively over the next several hundred miles. So again, this is outside the target demographic. I appreciate you guys stopping by as always, and I will catch you guys in the next video.